What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, once again, the Indiana Fever get blown out by another team, this time the New York Liberty again, 104-68. 104-68. Caitlin Clark, as has been the case for much of this season so far, struggled, scoring only 3 points. Only 3 of the team's 68 points, and she was only 1 of 10 from the floor, including just 1 of 7 from downtown. She did only have 3 turnovers this time, though. That was down, so I'll give her that. And let me say this, because I am absolutely shocked at what some of these people are saying about me. I see that some people are saying that I only criticize white players and that I never criticize black players. Are you actually, like, at this point, are people even telling the truth anymore? Do people have observational skills? Because I could have sworn that I've been criticizing players like LeBron James forever. Even though I've been supportive of Kyrie, Kyrie lately, I've criticized him in the past. I've criticized Zion, Lonzo Ball, even players I like. I've been critical at times. Giannis, Russell Westbrook, Kobe in the past. What are you guys talking about? Shaq? What are you talking about? 90% of the players I've criticized have been black. What are people talking about? I do nothing but praise Larry Bird. I do nothing but praise Jerry West, Bob Pettit. I'm one of the few ones that stand up for those players. What are you talking about? People just be saying anything. That's why you shouldn't speak from emotion, because you sound illogical. Yeah, I've criticized certain players who happen to be of a different ethnicity. I can't do that. But Colin Cowherd can. Skip Bayless can. Doug Gottlieb can. But when I do it, it's a problem. Like I said, you better get away from my channel. If you got that mindset, you better go to somebody like the Black Conservative Perspective or something, where he's running some gig. He know what he's doing. A lot of these channels know what they're doing out here. But anyway, she's struggling, man. There's no way around it. The ESPN and Fox Sports and the major sports media outlets aren't going to point these things out because she's a product that they're promoting. These people don't really analyze games anymore. They're just paid media hype men promoting the product. And that product for the WNBA is Caitlin Clark. So they're never going to really tell you the whole truth. They're pretty much going to sugarcoat and cherry pick things to make it seem like she's doing all right or that she's playing well. It's for the casuals. That's the problem. The mainstream sports media cater to the casuals. And then the casuals come on here and try to argue with people who actually watch the games or who watch the NBA or whatever. It's infiltrating all sports now. The media's decision to cater to casuals have ruined these sports. They've ruined it. So you got people that don't even watch games, just look at box scores or read what other people or hear what other people's opinions are, who they agree with. They want to argue with people that actually watch these games. And it's infuriating because you can tell you don't really watch the games. Just like recently, this whole foul situation. Yeah, I think she should have been possibly, maybe thrown out of the game for that foul or fined, whatever the case may be, possibly. But I've seen worse fouls. Nobody gave a damn when Angel Reese got fouled, got clotheslined. I didn't see people making 1,000 videos about that, crying about, oh, the NBA needs to change, the WNBA needs to change their rules. But all of a sudden, when she gets hit, man, whatever, man. We're not having that, man. It's not going to be a carry and cry fest in sports now. We can't have that. This ain't a situation where she was catered to. Look, Pete Maravich pretty much was kind of catered to. Now, when I say catered to, I don't mean in a negative way, but the offense in LSU centered around him. I mean, it helps when your father's name is Press Maravich and that's your father. I mean, the coach name is Press Maravich and he's your father. So the offense ran through him. Much like how in Iowa, the offense ran through Caitlin Clark. Now, everybody was saying, they weren't being haters, but they were saying that, look, when she gets to the WNBA, things are going to be different. The game is faster. It's a faster pace. The players are stronger. They're bigger. They're more skilled. And whether people like it or not, some of these players are going to have a chip on their shoulder toward her. Just like players had a chip on their shoulder toward Michael Jordan. Why? Because Michael Jordan was getting, at the time, endorsements and attention that rookies had never received before. And he hadn't accomplished a damn thing. So yeah, a lot of players did resent Michael Jordan. And maybe they did freeze him out in the 85 All-Star game. And that was wrong. But it's human nature. It's human nature. It's human nature for people to feel some type of way about somebody that they don't think deserved it. Well, they've been digging and mired and mucked in the trenches for years and received no attention. And more importantly, far less financial compensation. So yeah, they want to see if Caitlin Clark is worth it. They're trying to prove it. And right now she's being exposed. It's amazing to me how so many Karens out there want something handed to her. Where when I would hear people lament about LeBron and a lot of these guys today, it's funny. Whenever I wax on about the players of the past having to prove and earn their worth in a more physical league, everybody was applauding and here. But with Caitlin Clark, now all of a sudden y'all want a different, you're singing a different tune here. Now you want everything handed to her. Make that make sense. You want people to just anoint her. You want people to leave her alone. And like I said, even if they are scheming hard on her, and that's unfortunate, at the end of the day, that's what they do with great players. George Mikan wasn't guarded the same way as every other player or big man in the NBA. But he was the best player in the league. Same thing with Will Chamberlain. Same thing with Bob Pettit for a stretch. Same thing with, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, if she's supposed to be this great, the best female basketball player of all time, then what are you crying about? She should be above it. She should be able to still dominate. Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan was being doubled and tripled most games. And he still was dropping 30. So, and I'm talking about from his rookie year on. Point of reference. In the WNBA, the average field goal percentage for a player is around 44%. Okay. Caitlin Clark, as of my recording, is at 35.7%. And that's not 3-point percentage, that's field goal percentage. She's shooting 35.7% from the floor. The woman who's been anointed the greatest female shooter of all time doesn't look like it. The average 3-point percentage is 35%. Caitlin Clark is shooting 29.7% from downtown. On top of that, a woman who people were saying is going to easily average 20 points per game her rookie year is averaging 15.5. And worst of all, she's averaging a WNBA worst 5.4 turnovers per game. 5.4 turnovers per game. She's struggling. And this isn't 1 or 2 games in no more. This is 11 games into the season. I think it's safe to say she could possibly be a media hype job. She could be a bust. People ain't gonna like that, but I mean, you gotta call it what it is. You know, I remember Zion Williamson was being called a bust 5 games into the NBA season. Lonzo, 5 or 10 games to the NBA season. I don't even think it was 10 games to the NBA season when we were calling Lonzo possibly a bust. And, you know, we had the Lonzo Ball fans with the pushback, but we saw what we saw. Now, is Caitlin Clark going to improve? That's up to her. That's up to her. But right now, she's struggling. People can get mad they want to, but it's struggling. And I'm going to tell you something I'm getting real sick of, man. I'm getting real sick of people who always call someone like me and say I'm always using a certain card, right? Whenever I'm really talking about, when I'm talking about actual issues. Like, for instance, the Major League Baseball just incorporated the Negro League's statistics into their database. And so a lot of players have taken over all-time rankings. Josh Gibson is now the all-time leader in both slugging percentage and batting average career. You got certain people absolutely crying up a storm about that and calling this woke politics. What are you talking about? How is it Major League Baseball righting a wrong and acknowledging players that should have been in the league anyway being woke? What are you talking about? Stop using terminology to cover up what it really is that you're a damn racist. Period. You're a racist. An absolute goddamn racist. Does anybody cry, or will anybody cry if the NBA finally includes the ABA in their database, which I've been crying about for years? No. There was 2 different professional leagues. Some great players played in the ABA. Some of them went over to the NBA, some of them didn't. But now, maybe because of some of our efforts, the NBA is finally starting to acknowledge the ABA. They should, these players, Josh Gibson, Oscar Charleston, Cool Papa Bell, young Satchel Paige in his prime. Okay? These players should have even had to play in a different league. They should have been able to play in Major League Baseball. But Tennessee Mountain Landis and the other idiots wouldn't allow it. So here we are, 80 years after the end of the Negro Leagues, 70 to 80 years after the end of the Negro Leagues. These players have been acknowledged. Matter of fact, don't forget that certain all-time great players like Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, and I think Willie Mays did, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I know Hank Aaron did, they actually played in the Negro Leagues. So Hank Aaron's stats could have been even greater because beginning of his career, he was playing in the Negro Leagues. So Major League Baseball, to me, did a tremendous service acknowledging these players. And if that bothers you, then you need to look in the mirror and take off your hood. Take it off! So I say all that to say this. Just because you criticize Caitlin Clark and you're of another ethnicity doesn't make you a bigot or a racist. Matter of fact, those people who are saying that, then maybe I should just look at every person who criticizes LeBron as a racist if they're white, right? But do I do that? No. Because I'm a critical thinker and I look at people's patterns. And if they're criticizing all different stripes of people and they don't seem to show a bias, why would I even think that? So really, to be honest with you, a lot of people who are accusing me and others of being bigots or racist because we're criticizing Caitlin Clark, what you're really doing is projecting. You're really projecting your own racism toward others, because what people tend to do is people tend to think other people are like them. People tend to think other people think like them. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. She's got to play better. There's no crying in basketball.